basically, it's the perfect storm for Ecuador. The two major producers of cocaine in the planet, Colombia being the first, Peru being the second. Also being the major exporter of bananas. The banana containers that once carry Ecuador pride, now they were being contaminated with drugs. So where is it going? Mainly to European ports and through the cocaine route to the U.S. and Canada as well.
Ambassador Crespo, thank you so much for taking the time. Really appreciate you meeting us here in the shadow of the Parliament Hill.
Well, thank you for the opportunity, Omar, and glad to be here.
Ecuador used to be an island of peace. People don't see it that way anymore. How do you convince investors and tourists that to make them feel safe in investing and traveling to Ecuador?
By recapturing criminals, as you probably saw in the news, a criminal leader was recaptured recently in Ecuador, and with a policy of zero impunity, with the state gaining control again in our territories, in our ports, in our roads, we guarantee investors and the population in general a good environment for investing and living.
The capture you mentioned, alias Fito. What can you tell me about what it took to recapture someone like that?
It was a 100% Ecuadorian operation, which is a good signal that we are regaining control on our territories. But you have to understand that the recapture of this criminal, although in the news and although very important, because it sends a very strong message against impunity, it's part of a much broader strategy that the government has to regain control of its territory again. It was like a surgical operation. It took months of tracing communications and tracing activities.
This is the leader of Los Choneros, somebody who is
correct.
A group that is working, I believe, on behalf of the Sinaloa cartel. Is that right?
Well, it's not only the Sinaloa cartel, Omar. They also have very strong ties to the Albanese mafia. And as I told you in the beginning, this organized crime, it's a problem of entire planet. It's not only a problem of a particular country, because you see we're all interconnected here. It's like economies. That crime is also interconnected, and that's why we need to work together to aim for these criminal organizations. Otherwise, they would destroy the fabric of society.
And so what is the significance of this particular capture? What do you hope that it projects to trading partners like Canada, to tourists coming from places like Canada?
Well, it projects that Ecuador is very serious about the rule of law. It projects that Ecuador is very serious about regaining control of its territory.
You've got the free trade agreement. You've got Canadian investment, one of the biggest investors in Canada, in Ecuador, I believe.
It is.
And that investment has gone up, I believe, quadruple in the last few years.
It did. What is driving that? Basically, mining investment, because we're not rushing. Ecuador is not rushing, but Ecuador has now one of the highest concentrations of metals in Latin America, because it's never been exploited in the past. With only 2 major mines in operation, we're aiming for the best partners now. Partners that will be careful with the environment, that will respect our local culture and indigenous rights, with indigenous rights consultations and so on and so forth. So we're not rushing, but we're just aiming for the best, and that's the main reason why I'm here.
And it just strikes me that with that, increasing investment, but you also have pre-pandemic, you've got a murder rate of some 7 per 100,000,
yes,
roughly. Now you've got about 40 per 100,000. Yes. How do you bring that murder rate down?
With a policy of zero impunity, and by letting the criminals know that Ecuador is not the easy route to take the drugs out. They will eventually leave if they see that the Ecuadorian route is not a profitable route.
When you look down the road, what will success look like in the Canadian-Ecuadorian relationship in terms of taking some of that trading pie that is out there?
Success will be more trade with Canada, more partnership with Canada, more intercultural exchange with Canada, and more of the best practices shared by two democracies. That is what we aim for in Ecuador by partnering with a good democracy.
Ambassador Crespo, thank you so much for taking the time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Omar, for your time. Thank you
Pleasure
so much.
speaking with you.